Elaine. Nope, Ernest Holmes. All right. There's two EHs. So one is EH and one is EH with a little I. Okay. Which will make sense in a minute, right? Okay. It is April 24th. And our title is Procrastination, a Deterrent to Success. The first quote is, "There are diversities of operations, but it is the same God which worketh in all in all." That's 1 Corinthians 12:6. Then the second one is, "We should expect the best and so live that the best may become a part of our experience." And that is Science of Mind 300. It has been said that the number one obstacle to changing our thinking is procrastination. Putting things off is a habit, an ingrained behavior pattern, but this habit can be broken. Psychologist Edwin Bliss suggests the following. 1. Decide to start making the change immediately. Taking this first step is all important. To get yourself started, repeat positive statements affirming that the habit is eliminated. Doing so 2 or 3 times a day, as well as each evening before going to bed. 2. Make a list of things to be done the next day. Then, beginning the following morning, do the most unpleasant thing on the list first. This will give you a sense of achievement and will help build within you a consciousness of success. During the first several weeks, while the new habit is taking root, give particular attention to not permitting yourself any exceptions, and soon you will find that the tendency to procrastinate has been completely eliminated from your experience. Right now, I am filled with a deep and abiding sense that everything is all right with me and my world. As I turn within for guidance, the inspiration of the indwelling presence enables me to fulfill all of my daily goals. No longer do I think about obstacles, failure, or delay. I think instead about the wisdom and the power that are within me. I use this wisdom and power today and every day. And that is definitely EH. So that is Ernest Holmes. Okay. So right in there, he gave you 2 steps for breaking a habit. But one of the things that you clearly heard in there is we don't actually break habits. What we do is we replace habits. So if you have an ingrained behavior, which is a habit that you don't care for, then he gave you the excellent ways to break it. What you do is you start with affirmations and then do the opposite. So you start with the positive affirmations, do them 2 or 3 times a day, especially right before you go to bed, because then you're planting it in your subconscious. But then the second one is, he said, make a list of what you need to do tomorrow and start with the task that you like least. And there's a real power in list making when you have stuff to do. 1, it enables you not to forget things because, there I am. Let me call myself out. But it also, it gives you the sense of completion, a sense of accomplishment when you check things off. And if the one task that you procrastinate the most that's the one you want to do first, as soon as you get up, if possible. But then he said, and then the new habit will take, because according to science, it takes 21 days to create a new habit. Now, I also want to say that there's a difference between procrastination and fermentation. Because sometimes you're working on something and you hit a roadblock and you need to go do something else so that whatever you're working on can ferment in the back of your mind. Writer's block, or, you just hit a wall sometimes with whatever it is that you're working on, and you need to do something else for a little while. That's not procrastination. It can become procrastination. And so how do you tell the difference? Honestly, I don't know. And here's where I'm just going to straight up. I don't know. What's the difference between procrastination and letting something ferment? 1, it can definitely be your level of frustration with whatever task you're doing. If you just don't want to do it and you're doing nitpicky little things just to avoid doing it, that's definitely procrastination. If you've hit a wall and you need to let it, as I said, ferment, you put it on the back burner and you go do other things. Now, it doesn't mean you have to go do other productive things, although that can be wonderful. Sometimes you just need to rest. Go sit down, do that. So don't fall into the trap of busyness trying to avoid procrastination, okay? Sometimes we need to rest. Sometimes we need to let whatever it is that we're working on ferment in the back of our heads. Procrastination is definitely, and he said, a deterrent to success. So if you are succeeding in getting other things done that are necessary, you're probably not procrastinating. If it is something you really don't want to do and you definitely are procrastinating, maybe you want to evaluate why you are doing it in the first place. I mean, there's always going to be things that we have to do that we don't want to do. And we just have to be grown-ups and do them. But sometimes we do things because somebody told us that we should, or generally that's why. Society, culture, religion, somebody that, arguably loves you. But you just don't want to. And you find yourself procrastinating. Well, that's also a chance for you to evaluate, maybe you don't want to be doing this. Okay? Sometimes we procrastinate because what we're trying to do really isn't for us. It isn't something that we want. And so when we find ourselves procrastinating, it would be helpful to ask ourselves a couple of questions. One, am I actually procrastinating? Or am I letting the situation ferment? Two, if I am procrastinating, why am I procrastinating? Is it just a habit and I'm doing it mindlessly? Or is this something that I don't really want to do in the first place? And if it's not something I want to do, what am I going to do about that? Like I said, sometimes we have to be grown-ups and do it anyway. But other times, we can look at a task or something that we're doing and go, you know what? This actually doesn't add any value to my life. Or, I'm not the best person to be doing this. And then you can find somebody else who would be better at the task than you are. So, there's a whole lot of meat on the bone of procrastination. And sometimes it would be very helpful to look at it. Okay, so let's go back through because he was specifically talking about procrastination. I'm just giving you other things to think about, which might make you procrastinate. So the title is Procrastination, a Deterrent to Success, because it is. There are diversities of operations, but it is the same God that worketh in all. Or worketh all in all. 1 Corinthians 12. Diversities of operations. Stuff still got to get done. And sometimes we just need to be grown-ups about it. But sometimes we can also look and go, well, there's a diversity of operations. There's a diversity of me. There's diversities around me. Maybe I'm not the best person for this job. We should expect the best and so live that the best may become a part of our experience. Science of Mind 300. We should expect the best, but we also have the responsibility to live as if. Okay? And procrastination isn't living as if. So that's why I said, let's look and see what's the difference between procrastination and fermentation. Because sometimes we are literally fermenting. Okay, so it has been said that the number one obstacle to changing our thinking is procrastination. Putting things off is a habit, an ingrained behavior pattern. But this habit can be broken. Broken, replaced. So, psychologist Edwin Bliss suggests the following, and there's literally a number one in parentheses. Decide to start making changes immediately. You got to make the decision. Okay, this is what I want. Emphatically. Taking this first step is all important. To get yourself started, repeat the positive statements, affirming that the habit is eliminated. What is it that you actually want? State that. Doing so 2 or 3 times a day, as well as each evening before going to bed. I'm a big believer that when you're working on something, get a dry erase marker and write it on your mirror. It's the first thing it's typically the first thing you see in the morning and the last thing you see at night. You see it while you're brushing your teeth. So, that would be a good time to repeat it to yourself. First thing in the morning, last thing at night. Set your day off right and implant it in your consciousness for the night so that your subconscious can work on it. And then pick a couple of times during the day to repeat it to yourself. And then number 2 is make a list of things to be done the next day. Then, beginning the following morning, do the most unpleasant thing on the list first. There's an exclamation point right there. First. This will give you a sense of achievement and will help build within you a consciousness of success. Make the list, because literally checking things off a list gives you a sense of accomplishment, a sense of achievement that you can build on. Literally. I mean, sometimes we'll make a list and put making a list on the list so that we can check that off. It really does. I mean, try it. Trust me. There's that little thrill you get for checking something off. So, all right. During the first several weeks, while the new habit is taking root, give particular attention to not permitting yourself any exceptions, and soon you will find that the tendency to procrastinate has been completely eliminated from your experience. And that right there is why I said, look at the difference between procrastination and fermentation. Okay? Because sometimes we are procrastinating and sometimes we are fermenting. And you need to know, because you don't want to be banging your head against the wall on something that's not getting you anywhere. It's going to make that procrastination habit harder to break. So that's where you want to look. Okay. Am I fermenting? Can I go do something else while my subconscious works on this? Or am I just avoiding doing something I don't want to? And the other part of that equation is, am I just avoiding something that I don't want to do because it's not really for me? Okay? Those are 2 other things that if you can look at them, you can help eliminate procrastination. Right now, I am filled with a deep and abiding sense that everything is all right with me and my world. As I turn within for guidance, the inspiration of the indwelling presence enables me to fulfill all my goals. No longer do I think about obstacles, failure, or delay, because I'm focused on solutions, achievements, and moving forward. I think instead about the wisdom and power that are within me. I use this wisdom and power today and every day. All right. Well, that is Ernest Holmes. And I just looked ahead at the next one and went, alrighty then. If you want a preview of tomorrow, it's after 50. Look out, world. Well, guess what? This is the year I turned 50. Okay. So our mission today is to create those affirmations, those positive statements that will help us move out of the habit of procrastination. Okay? It's about learning the difference between procrastination, discernment on whether or not we actually should be doing something, and fermentation. So write those positive statements, make your lists, and move forward into the success that Ernest is talking about. All right. So that is the mission for today. And then, as always, I recommend the spiritual practice of doing something loving for yourself, doing something kind for yourself, doing something compassionate for yourself. And believe it or not, that is not about procrastination. That is about, what's the opposite of procrastination? You know? Because there's a word. whatever the opposite of procrastination is. But doing something loving for yourself, doing something kind for yourself, doing something compassionate for yourself isn't about procrastination. It is about taking care of yourself. Okay? It is about practicing on yourself so that no matter what happens, including procrastination, you can be loving, kind, and compassionate with yourself. Because sometimes when we procrastinate, we beat ourselves up about it, and that's not helpful either. So being loving, kind, and compassionate ourselves when we catch ourselves procrastinating can help us to move forward. All right? The 3 deep breaths. Taking a nap. Going for a walk. Those are all productive things that you can do instead of procrastinating, that will allow you to ferment whatever it is, allow you to work out if this task is actually for you, you know? So, and there goes. Do something loving, do something kind, do something compassionate. You know what it is that you need to do to take care of yourself. Stop procrastinating about doing it. Okay. As always, I do encourage you to do something to engage your mind and your body. I do encourage you to get a face full of bright light early in your day. I do encourage you to drink plenty of water. Super important. Hydration. And I encourage you also to open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you, you do live in heaven right here, right now. If you are aware of the fact that you live in heaven, you're not going to procrastinate because you are going to move into building around you what looks like and feels like heaven all the time. And how do we do that? Emma gives us good advice to look for the good and praise it. Okay? And there is always good around you because you are good. You are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased, always and forever. Trust me on that. So, whatever else you decide to do, take a good look at yourself. In all our science of mind, we advocate knowing that you have a choice and knowing who you are. So, and I'm starting to think about what I'm going to be doing in about an hour and a half. So I should probably get off of here because it's making me want to review my notes one more time. But knowing that there will be, it's Sunday. And Reverend Jesse is taking the Sunday off, and he knows how much I love the heroic journey, so he invited me to wrap up the heroic journey, which is what I'm going to do. So join us at 11 a.m. right here on Facebook Live, or in person if you're in the area, and come see what I have to say about the end of the heroic journey. Does it really ever end? Yes. No. I don't know. All right. But I've got a lot of notes, so we'll figure it out. You can find us on all the social medias. We are Creative Life Spiritual Centers. It would help if I would slow down. Creative Life Spark, or I am the Running Rev Ryan on all the social media. So catch us if you need us. If you want to know what's going on at any time, you can email info@creativelife.org. That will get you on our constant contact. That way you will know what's going on even when I don't. So I'm going to encourage you, as I always do, to have a great day, an amazing day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a sunny day, a cheerful day, a heroic journey day, an end of the quest day, a beginning of the new day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day, because you are enough, exactly as you are. As I have said before and will say again, you are a beloved child of God, in whom God is well pleased, always and forever. All right, beloveds, I'm going to move into the process of my day, so I'm going to go eat breakfast, and I will see you soon, because we will have the 11 a.m. service. And after that, Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you at 9 a.m., and we will get this week going. All right, beloveds, know that you're loved, and I will see you next time.